Hey, what's up, everybody? Staying current on the top cybersecurity trends and threat intelligence is an absolute critical skill that any practitioner or aspiring practitioner needs to have. And that's what we're doing here over the next hour. Welcome to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, we are doing everything within our power to give you the knowledge and the insights that you need to be able to wow job interviewers and to absolutely dominate and crush at your cybersecurity practitioner job, whether you're offensive, defensive, threat intelligence, GRC mafia, wherever it is, you have to be doing this, and that's what we're doing. On top of that, networking and relationships are absolutely vital in today's job market and in today's industry, and we got it all up in oodles here with the Simply Cyber community. If you look right above my head, you can see them already stacking in here this morning on this beautiful Friday, August 1st. New month for everyone. Good morning to folks in chat like Tim McDonald, Alex Rosado, Dennis Keefe, Marlon Johnson, Augusta Delgado, Captain Columbia, and many others. Matt R, LFG, Kayla Sturgeon, you know it. All right, guys, we are going to be shredding it. I'm going to basically, the TLDR is I go through 8 stories, give you the headline, give you the main meat of the story, and then I put on a snorkel and a scuba kit, and I go deep down under the waves there, and I use my 20 years of experience to give you as much insights as I possibly can. I am a leader who serves. I love serving this community. I love helping people, and that's what we're going to be doing. Now, it is Friday, which means only one thing on Fridays. This beautiful man right here, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, the guy who lives in seat 3B of a Delta airline, is going to be doing dad jokes on Friday. He's got a bunch of rib ticklers all lined up to align with Hacker Summer Camp next week, so stay tuned for that. And then, of course, you're not going to want to go anywhere because stay tuned to the end as we have Jawjacking, a 30-minute, sometimes 60-minute mentoring session where any questions that you have will be answered. If you have been, oh man, I wish I could get some one-on-one coaching. Oh, I wish I could get some mentorship. Oh, I wish I could do this. Guys, that's what Jawjacking is, and we put it all together for you. But first, we force you, quote-unquote force you, to go through the top cyber news of the day. So we got a great show for you. I'm super pumped. Before we get into it, let me holler at the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring the show to you in all of its beautiful glory, starting with Flare Academy. Now, Flare Academy is the training arm of Flare Cyber Threat Intelligence Platform, but what you need to know about Flare Academy is that it's absolutely free, and it is designed for you as a practitioner. Get connected to unbelievably talented industry professionals who provide 2-hour basically guest lectures on different topics to level you up. And after the talk is over, you can join that speaker in Discord and get insights and questions answered. I want to call your attention to August 13th, just 12 days away, where Kevin Johnson from Secure Ideas, who is an amazing professional and an awesome speaker. I'm telling you, when I say awesome speaker, I'm saying if you see this guy on the agenda for a talk, make it a priority to go check it out. He's very engaging, very knowledgeable. He's going to be talking about web app testing and stealing secrets. Pick up a skill, meet some new friends, get in there. Go to go to simplycyber.io/flare, and it'll redirect you. Links for all these in the description below. I also want to say shout out to Antisyphon Training, guys. Antisyphon Training has got a bomb diggity coming up here in August. I want to call your attention, August 18th through 21st. It's back again. It's the Marshall Mathers of cybersecurity. Look who's back again. John Strand, and getting started with InfoSec and Black Hills and MITRE ATT&CK is back again. Okay. John Strand does 3 different courses throughout the year. You can take them for absolutely $0. if you are on a tight budget or you're like looking to explore cybersecurity without, investing a ton, this is an absolute home run for you. Go to Antisyphon. Here, go to the link in chat below. And if you're watching on replay, just basically go to Antisyphon training, right? I'm going to show you how to click through it. Go to oh my God, go to Sir, go to Antisyphon training, hamburger menu on the top right, live training, drop down, click course calendar, scroll down, August 18th. Simple as that. You are off and running. I know it's a couple clicks, but you know what? Things in cybersecurity aren't, tailored, like spoon-fed to you. So a couple clicks, it's worth the friction. Go check it out. Now, you know what else is, if you don't like friction and you want someone else to do the heavy lifting, may I introduce you to Eric Taylor and the crew at Barricade Cyber, like Justin Gold and others. Their 4-to-5 365 solution. Cool name. Let me break it down for you. If you're running Microsoft 365 and you want to harden it, take advantage of all the security controls that are already there. Guys, like, check it out. Vanilla loads. Vanilla means like basic from the manufacturer. Vanilla loads of Microsoft operating system of M365 instances. Sure, they have some controls in place, but they are a far cry from what they can be from a hardened perspective. So don't let your Microsoft 365 become the next reason why you're front page news and why you're looking for a job because your business is hosed. Go to barricadecyber.com/4to5-365 and giddy up on that. Eric Taylor and the team will harden your M365 environment. All right, we also got Threat Locker, but I'm going to talk about them right before we do the news. Guys, every episode of the Daily Cyber, vanilla loads. You never heard of that before? Phil Stafford? Yeah. Check it out. Yeah, this is like I don't want to say it's a term, but like, it's a term in the industry. So if you want, there's gold loads. So just so everybody knows, like, let's this is what I'm talking about. I love sharing knowledge with people really quickly. I used a term that some people may not have known. Vanilla loads and gold loads, okay? A gold load is basically you harden, configure, get the right apps for like an instance of your Windows operating system, and then you snapshot it, and that becomes the instance for all systems in your environment. A new computer gets bought, load the gold load. A new, someone gets their computer hosed by malware, load the gold load, okay? That's a gold load. Vanilla is like basically you buy it from Best Buy or you buy it from Amazon or something like that. No custom configuration at all. Guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away once a year, count the number of screenshots, divide by 2. Like chat's right here. Chat's right here. Your name, your message will show up. The name of the show has the date in it, August 1st. The Chiron, the scrolling ticker on the bottom will say half a CPE, episode 932, right there below me right now. So what I'm saying is just giddy up on it, take full advantage of these CPEs, and you're off and running. You guys have never heard these terms before, vanilla and gold load? So Augusta Delgado says it's called the gold image. A lot of people call it gold image. I call it gold loads. Whatever. You Simply Cyber community members with you're in the gutter minds here. Yeah, gold image, gold load, whatever. Don't get confused with gold disk. Oh my goodness. If you ever worked in the early 2000s in the DoD department, you know what gold disk is. Holy crap. That thing was a nightmare fuel single button of ruining everyone's day. Okay. Finally, I want to say, if today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. If anyone in here has heard the term gold load or vanilla load, let me know. Maybe it's terminology that I throw around. Maybe I'm trying to mix things up a little bit, okay? Maybe I'm trying to get spicy. I'm joking. I really do use those terms. Okay, for real though. If today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. And we will welcome you appropriately.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right. Everybody's saying gold load first time. I don't know. Maybe, whatever. Hey, you know what? If you hear someone say gold load, you can tell them I started it, I guess. I don't know. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet with 10 gifted subs. Thank you, James McQuiggan, for changing the topic. Oh, my God. If you're one of the 10 members who just picked up those images, okay, here we go. Start a poll. I'm even going to say, have you ever heard the term vanilla gold loads in computer, in IT cyber? Okay, like just to be crystal clear what we're talking about. All right, James McQuiggan, guys, we're off and running. If you guys want, it is the first of the month. I'm not doing the bingo today for reasons I can tell you about at Jawjacking, but I do want you to know we have the AMA at 1 p.m. Eastern time in the Discord server. So you're going to want to giddy up on that. All right, everybody, do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news
Spicy!
wash over us. Awesome wave. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
I don't research or prep for any of these shows. I will say that I did roll the headlines out to set it all up. There's one story that might trigger me, just so we all are prepared for that. James McQuiggan with the super chat.
Become best friends. Yep.
He said, I've heard gold load, not vanilla, but alpha and beta. Happy Friday with dad jokes. And the next premiere episode is Simply Secure with B-Dubs, rated 930. That's right. We do have James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet bringing his Simply Secured podcast. This show is hot, by the way. If you haven't seen any of the 3 episodes that have premiered already, James McQuiggan is killing it with this podcast. So definitely want to check it out. But let's get to work, everybody, okay?
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, August 1st, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. ATM network breached and attacked through 4G Raspberry Pi. This activity attributed to a financially motivated threat actor known as UNC2891. According to security firm Group IB, this attack did require physical access in order to install the Raspberry Pi device and then connect it to the same network switch as the ATM, thus effectively joining the network. It is, quote, currently not known how this access was obtained, end quote. The scheme used a kernel module rootkit dubbed CakeTap, that is CAKETAP, which was, quote, designed to hide network connections, processes, and files, as well as intercept and spoof card and PIN verification messages from hardware security modules, end quote. Although the specific network, country, or victim organization is not identified in the media or in the report from Group IB itself, the emphasis is on the physical penetration of the network, which used, quote, Linux bind mounts to hide backdoor processes from conventional detection tools, end quote. As a consequence, quote, standard forensic triage failed to reveal the backdoor because the attacker leveraged a technique that had not been documented in public threat reports at the time, end quote.
Wow. Okay, so anytime that you talk about, this is called jackpotting. Did they put jackpot in the title of the story? They didn't. So this is a really well-known attack. It doesn't happen often, but like anytime you get a machine to dispense money, whether it's a slot machine or an ATM, those are kind of the two typical ones. It's called jackpotting them. So just if you hear the term jackpot, financial services companies are typically quite secure. They invest heavily. They typically have, it's not uncommon for them to have internal pen testers, like the larger ones, like, you know, Capital One, Chase Bank, stuff like that. And they all have ATMs. Now, ATMs come in a variety of different flavors, right? You've got your like private ATMs that charge like stupid fees, and you find them in like, you know, bodegas and stuff like that. Then you have the full straight up ATM that's like connected to the bank itself. They have different infrastructure, different security. Remember, at the end of the day, the ATM itself is like a safe, basically, that has a way to interact with it, okay? But it's still a computer. It still needs to be able to process and communicate to understand what it's doing. So think about it this way for a second, okay? Just think about the infrastructure of it. You walk up to an ATM and put your ATM card in, or any card, and it runs the card. It needs to authenticate that, yes, that's your card. The PIN is correct, all these things. It needs to be able to go and find your bank balance. It needs to be able to help you withdraw $20 and then debit your bank account balance $20, right? This is a classic, honestly, to get super nerdy. This is a classic semaphore use case where in computer science, when you're dealing with programming and race conditions and all this stuff, these are things that people don't normally talk about out loud because it's like super boring. But basically, if I take $20 out from my ATM and then I have my wife go to a different ATM at the same exact time, and she also takes out $20, is it possible that it doesn't update the balance? And like it says, oh, your balance is $100, and then it says, oh, your balance is 80, but because my wife is currently doing it, it says, oh, your balance is $100. Oh, your balance is 80. So like you get to steal $20, right? Scale that up, you steal $1 million, whatever. Semaphores basically lock down the value and don't allow it to be manipulated in a different way until it can be checked back in effectively. So the whole reason I bring up all this information isn't to talk about semaphores. It's to point out that there is a lot of network requirements for these systems. And anytime you introduce network requirements, you're going to start introducing network infrastructure like switches and routers and such, right? And remember, you're not going to run like an ATM. You're not going to run like 1,000-foot Cat5 cable from the ATM to the bank, right? You're going to use wireless. Look at some of these vending machines that are smart vending machines. You'll see the little antenna sitting on the top of them. They like basically have hotspots, right? So somebody figured out, hey, wait a minute. It must be running on 4 gigahertz, which I didn't know, but okay. And Raspberry Pis have the ability to tap into this. Essentially what someone made was a like a Wi-Fi pineapple, basically, right? This is basically a wireless penetration tool. They were able to connect the wireless, whatever, this Raspberry Pi to the switch that the same ATM was connected to, right? So, stop it. All right, listen, you know what? I'll talk about this in a second. Okay, so anyways, because it's wireless, it's got to be connected back to some hardware infrastructure. They were able to get on the same one. And once you're on a switch, right, you can, if you could span port the switch or whatever, you could see all the traffic coming and going, manipulate the traffic if it's not encrypted. I don't know. I have to assume that the traffic was not encrypted going from the modem back because they were able to do things according to this research. Long story short, they, the threat actors were able to connect out on a C2 channel via the Wi-Fi pineapple. It's not a Wi-Fi pineapple, but this Raspberry Pi 4G thing, and do what it needed to do. You can see here in the little infographic, the wireless Raspberry Pi is right in the middle. And it's on the left, it's communicating outbound to the threat actors. And then on the right side, the inbound side, it's talking to the financial services infrastructure. Now, a couple things. One, they said that you would need physical access to the system. This is likely true, but normally, traditionally, it doesn't happen often, but traditionally, you have to like open the case of the ATM to be able to stick a USB drive in it, right? That's been kind of like part of the setup is you need to get access to the computer itself. You're not going to be hacking it. This isn't like a Hollywood movie where like you're just typing in different random codes in the pin pad and all of a sudden you drop into a shell. Like you have to get USB. Now, because this is all wireless, it's possible you don't need to open up the ATM box. You just need your Raspberry Pi to be within the wireless range of the same switch. I assume that the wireless, the ATM switch is wireless also somehow and off and running. What is particularly interesting, and if you are a pen tester, might want to do some research on this, and if you're a blue teamer working in financial services, how this traffic bypass network security monitoring. To me, that's the really interesting part, because Yeah, it's getting payloads from C2 infrastructure, but like when it starts sending commands to the ATM to jackpot, like how is that not being detected? That seems like something that would be like, interesting. They don't disclose it in this report. But Group IB is the one who did the research here, so they might have something on their website around it. Anyways, TLDR. I don't know if we're getting I like to think that we're getting better at ransomware protection because financial attacks, attacking with credit card skimmers and jackpotting ATMs is like slowly starting to come back into vogue. So I have to imagine threat actors are going to take the easiest path, right? So like if ransomware is way easier than setting up this Raspberry Pi to jackpot ATMs, then there you go. Also, final thing on this one, you got to remember, like, what's the return on investment? You need to have some human physically go to the ATM and get the money that's coming out of it, right? So there is a complexity that you can't just do this and move it like cryptocurrency. You have to physically go there. If you're using money mules, right, like low end employees whose job it is just to physically go to the ATM, you could deal with some theft and stuff like that. So it's very cool from a technical perspective, but like getting paid from it, I'm not sure the level of value. Really quick, just as a fun thing for the community in mod chat. Justin Gold, DJ BSEC, if you have been a longtime member of the Simply Cyber community, you'll remember when I first moved into the Buffer Auger Flow studio, which is my main studio. I'm in a travel studio right now. I plugged my computer in, hardwired it to the wall. Now, all I had, they said 1,000-foot cable. They're being facetious. All I had was a 50-foot cable. So I plugged that in to run 6 inches from the wall to the back of my computer. And I was having performance issues. And it was after deep investigation from multiple people, it was discovered that maybe I shouldn't run a 50-foot cable that basically is connected into a jack that runs another 75 feet to underground into my house. And, I switched it to like a 1-foot cable and the problems went away. It's unknown at this time if the solution was related to that or not, but just I'm getting my ribs busted over here because of it.
Easterly's appointment to West Point rescinded.
Yeah, this is the story.
The former director of CISA has had her appointment to a high-profile academic position in West Point's Department of Social Sciences swiftly removed. On Tuesday, the United States Military Academy announced that she was named to the Robert F. McDermott Distinguished Chair, which since 1943 has brought, quote, a leading scholar, practitioner, or expert in the fields of social sciences, such as economics, political science, or international relations, to West Point, end quote. Shortly afterwards, according to Cyberscoop, far-right activist Laura Loomer suggested on X that Easterly should not be named to the position due to her work under the Biden administration, and on Wednesday, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll announced, also on X, that the position would be rescinded and a full review of the Academy's hiring practices would be conducted.
Okay, DJ BSEC has taken a lap here. All right, this story is a little triggering for me. This is not a cyber story. Okay, Jen Easterly was the director of CISA for the entirety of Biden administration. In my opinion, she did great work. She brought Secure by Design initiatives, Shields Up initiative. She brought known exploited vulnerability catalog. She increased the public-private sector relationships. She drove election security initiatives, especially during basically 2017, like the not 2017, excuse me, 2021, like the post when there was a lot of discussions around election results. So this right here, not a cyber story, but this is, for all intents and purposes, this seems like a petty, gonna get you. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. You know what bothers me? And I'm just gonna take it away from Jen in this particular story for a second to keep it apolitical. what bothers me is I say this all the time on the channel, okay? I say, here is something you won't hear in a classroom. Here is something you won't read in a textbook. Here's the reality. This is why you don't patch on Fridays. Here's the reality. This is why you should bring donuts to a meeting on Monday morning, right? I said it yesterday when I did a tabletop exercise workshop. This is why you should get friendly with whoever the senior person is that's going to be in the tabletop exercise the next day. That way, if you have somebody who's not really paying attention, you'll have top cover support from the senior IT person who can basically say, yo, Scott, get your crap together, instead of having you say it, right? The way that you learn those things is by having people who worked in industry give you that information. This right here, this position at West Point is that. This is like basically the most glorified adjunct faculty position. And West Point realizes the value of that for their students and their cadets, their leaders of tomorrow, that they make it an entire, ceremonious responsibility. And she was offered the job. And not only did they rescind it, by the way, but now they're doing a full review of hiring practices at the West Point. So it's frustrating, man, because the students, the cadets at West Point are going to be robbed of that experience. And the bigger picture is, it just, man, it sucks where, like, if you don't, I don't know, I don't want to get into it. It's just like, oh, you do something good, but it's not, favorable. So now not only do you not get to do it, but you're going to get, a full probe into your situation. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, like, just on a personal note, and I'm not going to go into details on this, but just on a personal note, I had to make a decision yesterday to pass up a good amount of money because of a legit concern that is very parallel to this. Like, that's what we're talking about right now.
Report links Chinese companies to tools used by state-sponsored hackers. According to Sentinel Labs, information gained from the recently unsealed indictment against 2 Chinese nationals accused of being members of Silk Typhoon revealed the connections to a number of Chinese firms that build offensive technology. These companies have names like Shanghai Haiying Information Technology Company and Shanghai Firetech Information Science and Technology Company. The report shows that the relations between the hackers, their companies, and the Chinese government is not one way, implying deeper connections between the companies and ministries within the Chinese government. Honeywell.
All right. All right. So let's see. Basically, the United States are identifying that state-sponsored hackers are actually backed by Chinese company, and they're developing offensive tooling. So there is a hot integration, so hot,
spicy,
between between Chinese companies and Chinese government. Like, welcome to the party, pal. Okay. All right, hold on. So a couple things. One, this should come as no surprise to anyone, okay? I'm not saying that it's there have been several well-documented instances of large Chinese tech companies that have been forced to have senior Chinese government officials placed on the board or in senior leadership roles at those companies. Okay? That's a fact. Additionally, if these Chinese, like, there's tons of companies that are get stood up and have, basically like state backing, right? So, your great hackers leave military service and then they go start a company and like they have the relationships in the network and they just get right into it with them. All right. So basically, it's just an extension of the Chinese government. It's just an extension of the U.S. government. Go read Nicole Pelross, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, again, this isn't like This is a perfect example of not being xenophobic about China and what China's doing. Read this book right here. Where are you? Read this book right here from Nicole Pelroth, who, by the way, is keynoting Black Hat this year. This book right here. What are we doing? Oh, you guys can't see it. This book right here goes into great detail to talk about Fort Meade, NSA, and how the NSA hackers, like some of the best and brightest the United States has to offer in cyber capabilities, once they leave the NSA, which, by the way, is not a high-paying job, they go down the street, literally, and open up a 4-person business called Bob Technologies. They don't have any. It's in a strip mall, and they don't really sell anything. There's no walk-in service, but they're running like basically a 0-day and exploit weapon shop as a contractor to the NSA. So now they get paid. The NSA has an extended network. They're all doing it, okay? So again, I just want to point out, not to be xenophobic, it's like, this is the way, right? Get your Mandalorian references on. This is the way. So the fact that, tools are being made and being used by the Chinese government, that, like, this is how the game is played. Like, this could easily be a Chinese-based newspaper and say, report links U.S. company tools to state-sponsored hackers. And just think about it. It's the humans finding the 0 days. It's the humans making the exploits. Who else, for real, who else are they going to sell it to? If I'm wicked good at shredding source code and finding 0 days and making Eternal Blue to exploit an SMB share vulnerability, who do I sell that to? That's incredibly valuable. $500,000, $750,000 for that piece of knowledge. I can't sell that on Amazon. And you know what? Be real. The NSA doesn't want, Johnny American and Susie American, who are really great at finding 0 days and writing exploits. They don't want them selling it to anybody but the United States. Think about it. Think about that for a minute, right? Not only does the U.S. want that as a personal private weapon that's not disclosed anywhere, but they also don't want their adversaries to have it. And if I'm Johnny American and I know that this is worth $500,000 and I want to get paid because I've been doing government service for 8 years, making $45,000, it's my turn.
Straight cash, homie.
All right? So anyways, that's the reality of that. The real thing here is the real, not risk here. To me, I'm less worried about this right here. This doesn't bother me. This I expect. What upsets me or gets me concerned is when you see Chinese companies like TP-Link baking in backdoors into their technology and then selling them at a loss on Amazon, so tons of people are buying them. That's when you get into the the gnarly stuff, okay? I also see a recommendation here from Easy Does It, 0-Day Brokers episode on Darknet Diaries. Definitely, I haven't heard that one myself, but I guarantee you it's a great one. Okay, let's end the poll. For those who showed up late, I was using the term gold load and vanilla load to talk about basically instances of operating systems, and people were giving me a hard time. Well, guess what, everybody? 13% of us, my 13% of my diehard friends in chat are throwing around gold loads. But no, for real though, I guess, hey, if you're new here, first time or breaking in industry, use the term gold image and vanilla image as you have a 87% chance that the person interviewing you for the job has not heard of the gold load, vanilla load terminology.
Espionage PKS flaws warning. Following an advisory published last week by CISA, Honeywell has now patched 6 vulnerabilities in its Espionage Process Knowledge System, that is PKS, which is an industrial process control and automation solution. These vulnerabilities impact the Control Data Access Component, CDA, and they can lead to remote code execution. A couple of the vulnerabilities are rated as high severity and can be exploited for denial of service attacks, while a medium severity flaw could be used to manipulate communication channels and cause incorrect system behavior. CISA points out that the impacted products, quote, are used worldwide, including in critical infrastructure sectors such as critical manufacturing, chemical, energy, water, and healthcare, end quote.
All right, so a couple things here. This is a industrial control system vulnerability. Honeywell is one of those ones. Oh, actually, you can see here it says ICSOT. Honeywell is one of those companies that does make a lot of ICSOT stuff. The flaw is in that Espionage PKS. So if you are working in energy or sewer or where else? Manufacturing, perhaps. My mind originally goes to like energy, oil and gas, and stuff like that. You may be running these things. You do got to patch it. You got to patch it. Couple things. Number one, they point out that this is likely on a segmented network, right? So you're going to want to patch this, but because it's ICSOT, you might have to find some maintenance windows. You may have to bring some Krispy Kreme donuts to field engineers who don't want you messing with their stuff. The vulnerabilities can allow remote code execution, which basically means you can run anything you want on those boxes. Davey Crack IT's got 30 years IT experience. Never heard it called gold load. All right. Davey Crack IT is running gold image. I don't know. Maybe it's a colloquialism. Maybe in the small niche pockets of the Low Country, there's a faction of people that never got exposed to the greater world. I've heard gold image. It's not like I'm completely aloof. It's just I use the term gold load. All right. I guess this will be the gold load episode. Anyways, whatever. Just if you're running ICSOT, get this patched, all right? They said there's a denial of service attack possibility. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I'd be more worried about remote code execution and nasty business. Even though it is network segmented, typically there's a big movement to integrate IT into OT systems for monitoring, which could obviously be a problem. I do want to tell everybody really, really quickly, and we will be resolving this. I actually had a call yesterday with a web developer to help Simply Cyber take it to the next level. Nobody look at my what I was just watching. Top 1% Mythic net deck for Magic the Gathering. I'm getting back into Magic. Don't tell anyone. Okay, we have Simply ICS Cyber. Simply ICS Cyber is a podcast that we host here at Simply Cyber Media. From Don Weber, the guy on the left, and Tom Van Norman. Collectively, they have like 40 years, 50 years of ICS OT cyber experience. Just unbelievable experience and knowledge going on here. And they are doing theirs. Their next season is starting up here on August 13th. So for real, if you're interested in this story in any capacity right here, you should definitely check out their podcast. Let's cook.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, DropZone AI. Security teams everywhere are drowning in alerts. That's why companies like Zapier and CBTS turned to DropZone AI, the leader in autonomous alert investigation. Their AI investigates everything, giving your analysts time back for real security work. No more 40-minute rabbit holes. If you're at Black Hat, find them in Startup City. Otherwise, check out their self-guided demo at dropzone.ai. DROPZONE.ai. This is how modern SOCs are scaling without burning out.
All right. Hey, Davey Crack IT, if you with 30 years of experience in IT, you definitely know this song then. All right, holla, 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 holla. I don't think I ran the. Hold on. I think I got so excited I forgot to run the Threat Locker ad. Hey, quick shout out to the stream sponsors: Barricade, Cyber, Delete Me, Antisyphon, Threat Locker, Flare. Let's do the Flare, the Threat Locker video really quickly, and then I'll be in chat talking. Alpha Sierra, I'll answer your magic question in DEF CON. And then we're going to do James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet jokes of the week. Let's do this ad real quick. Thank you, Threat Locker. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, that's right. So it's threatlocker.com/dailycyber. We've got our own. All right, so Alpha Sierra, I will not be playing Magic at DEF CON. We will have a Magic tournament at Wild West Hackin' Fest. Holla, holla, holla. All right, guys, just thank you so very much. It is a Friday. Remember, we have... Whoa. Davey Crack IT. Buddy, listen, I was born in 79. I've got 90s references for days. I think you and I... hold on, really quickly, for Davey Crack IT. Stop the music. For Davey Crack IT.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Listen, shout out to all you guys. We got a great show for you. Remember, we have Jawjacking at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. I want to let everyone know just really quickly that just yesterday, a new course in the Simply Cyber Academy, OSINT for pen testers. This is Michelle Kahn's course. Unbelievable course. The feedback already is insane, considering it just launched yesterday. We're actually running a 40% off special for this course. It's got like 90 tools in it. No, there's 71 tools. 71 tools. And there's labs and challenges. It's awesome. If you're interested, there is a link pinned in the comments. I'll put it here just so anyone knows. And I want to let everyone know just really quickly, if you are currently a student of my GRC Analyst Masterclass, right? If you are a student of my GRC Analyst Masterclass, I want to let you know I literally just uploaded a hot new lecture today. Brand new content in the course itself. If you're already a student, you will have immediate access to this. Go check it out. It's a 45-minute lecture on how, why, and how to do a tabletop exercise, why to do it, everything you need to facilitate it like a boss, how to get the most value. I'm super excited about this lecture. I use AI and give you all the prompts right here on how to build it all out quickly. 20 minutes, you can have an unbelievable tabletop exercise custom built for your environment. So go check that out. Like I said, if you already have access, you already have it. It's not like it's a plus up or something stupid like that. All right, guys, every single day of the week has a special segment. Fridays is Dad Joke Fridays. Let's go. James says, what happened when the campers ran through the campsite? What happened when the camper ran through the campsite? Well, he was past tense. He was past tense. All right. Again, this is because Hacker Summer Camp is next week. We're doing camping jokes. What type of footwear do frogs wear when they're camping? What type of footwear do frogs wear when they're camping? They wear open-toed shoes. Don't wear those in Vegas, but yes, in camping, open-toed. And why is working in cybersecurity like sleeping in a teepee and a wigwam? Well, working in cybersecurity, you would know it's very intense. Teepee and wigwams, they're intense. Oh my God, James McQuiggan, thank you so much. All right, get our la-la-las on. Let's go. right, let's continue and finish strong, everybody.
Another WordPress theme flaw threatens RCE. The flaw in a theme called a lone charity multipurpose nonprofit WordPress theme contains a vulnerability with a CVE number and which carries a CVSS score of 9.8. According to WordPress security company WordFence, the vulnerability is rooted in a plugin installation function and could, quote, make it possible for an unauthenticated attacker to upload arbitrary files to a vulnerable site and achieve remote code execution, which is typically leveraged for complete site takeover, end quote. WordPress site owners using the theme are advised to apply the latest updates, check for any suspicious admin users, and scan logs for a particular action request that is included in the show notes to this episode. Proton launches free stand.
All right, so if you're running WordPress, by the way, we're going to be moving to WordPress, which is like, I'm like borderline having an ulcer about. But it's one of those things. I did the risk calculation, and apparently my tolerance does allow for an ulcer. All right, so WordPress getting popped in the face. Remember, WordPress is a website hosting platform, basically, which means it can be accessed and discovered via Shodan and anywhere on the internet. If you are running it, this CVE is the vulnerability. Just remember, just as a quick reminder, if you have a vulnerable service or a vulnerable application or a vulnerable server, that does not mean that you are actively exploited. That doesn't mean you've been taken over. Just because you leave your car unlocked when you go to the mall does not mean that your car got robbed, right? If you leave your phone in an Uber, that doesn't mean someone stole your phone. It just means that you left your phone in the Uber. Okay, so let's look at how bad this vulnerability is. I probably shouldn't have Phil Stafford. It's just I didn't sleep well last night thinking about WordPress. I might still have a talk with the web dev and see if we can't find a better solution. Okay, so 0.24%, not very high. Okay, so personally, because it's an internet-facing asset, I wouldn't screw around with it. I would get this sorted out sooner than later. It depends on what themes are there. So here's the thing, okay? I'm going to take this in a more generic fashion. Regardless of this particular vulnerability or this particular vulnerability or this particular exploit, with WordPress, the number one, you should always keep it up to date and patched.
You gotta patch it.
Okay, number one. Number two, they mentioned in here looking for a very specific code execution or process execution, all right? Which means if you're not catching logs from your WordPress instance, you're not going to be able to look at that. So even if your WordPress instance is like phenomenal, crystal clean, it's the gold load, right? Okay. You should make sure that you're getting app logs and server logs, if you can, pushed to your SIM or some log aggregator so you can be able to go threat hunting and go look back and say, oh, did I get compromised? In here, they say that activities originating from these IP addresses. Now, again, David Bianco's Pyramid of Pain will tell us that the IP address is easy to change, which it is. But you can still, as an activity, take these IP addresses and look in your logs and see if you're seeing these IP addresses. You can even see they have an IPv6 address in here. Ooh, getting hot. All right. And the exploit's been going on since July 12th. So if you start looking today, chances are you could have been probed 2-3 weeks ago. All right. It uploads a zip archive, which has a PHP backdoor, like a web shell on it. Let's see. Scan logs for the request WP admin Ajax PHP action alone import pack install plugin. So like literally, like explicit text you can search for. Again, this is what threat hunting is, all right? If you had a SIM that could detect this, then you're already like fine, right? Chances are this is a pretty specific detection, so you you weren't looking for this text, but you can look for it now. I do want to point out, I don't know if this alone import pack install plugin is a native function of WordPress, which would mean if it is, that means the threat actor can't change this. It's not like changing the name of the file and re-uploading it. This is a function of WordPress. So if you're looking for this particular request in the logs and you see it, you're good to go. But the TLDR here is make sure you're catching logs. So many people, I don't know, maybe this is a straw man argument, but a lot of people like stand it up in IT. They'll stand up a service. They'll stand up WordPress. They'll stand up whatever. And it starts working and they're like, awesome, on to the next project. And they don't decommission whatever it was that they were replacing. That's a first of all, which pisses me off. And then second of all, they don't set up logging in any way. They don't coordinate with the SIM or the SOC team, excuse me. And then, bad happens and it's like, well, what are the logs saying? It's like, what logs? What are you talking about?
Standalone cross-platform authenticator app. Proton Authenticator works on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. Like other 2FA authenticator apps, it generates time-based one-time passwords. However, the Proton Authenticator uses no ads, trackers, or vendor lock-in, and is open source. Critical flaw.
All right, so really quickly, just in generic, not a sponsor, but I would gladly align with Proton. I use Proton VPN. I know people that use Proton Mail quite a bit. Proton's actually kind of making a slow play to compete with, like Microsoft Office or Google Workspaces. They have like the full product suite with like files, servers, VPNs, email, calendar. So just to put that out there, like Proton, in my opinion, Proton is like in the same category in my mind as Signal. Like it's a good company trying to do the right thing and they're focused on, privacy basically, and they're doing a good job of it. They're not marketing the idea of privacy. They're just delivering privacy. I'm a big fan. Now, as far as this authenticator goes, it's great. Like I'll tell you, if I ever have a problem with Bitwarden, I'll go to Proton Authenticator. Just based exclusively on all my experiences with Proton to date, by default, Proton Authenticator would be my next option. But I'm not on Bitwarden, excuse me. I'm on I use Authy. I like Authy. The only thing I would say about this is like very cool, Proton. The only thing I would say is when you are choosing an authenticator solution, and by the way, you should totally do this because it's MFA for days. The one thing I would point out, or at least for me, my requirement, I used to use Google Authenticator, right? But if you like have to switch your phone or you lose your phone or you upgrade or something like that, maybe I did it wrong, but I had to manually transfer, like I had to reinitialize all my friggin' MFAs into my new device, and it really pissed me off. Also, I wasn't able to have like the same, like I couldn't have it on multiple devices, right? Now, when you allow for multiple, so with Authy, I can be on my tablet, my phone, my computer. In fact, I think they got rid of the FAT client a while ago, but like basically you can go across multiple devices and still have that same authenticator instance, which is super awesome. It does introduce a little bit of risk, so my GRC Mafia people should see this immediately. If you can put it on multiple devices, that means a threat actor can add it to one device that they control, right? So you are introducing that level of risk, but I manage that risk a different way, so I'm okay with it and accept the convenience of having it across multiple devices, especially if I lose a device. I would probably Amazon overnight order a pair of brown pants if I had my MFA tokens on one device only and I lost that device, that would be an immediate like, oh, I'll take your brownest, heaviest canvas pants, please. All right, so go check it out. Proton Authenticator. I mean, this is basically, I love Proton, but this news article feels like it's a paid a paid slot, right? Because this news story is basically just talking about how awesome Proton is and all its services. It doesn't straight up say that this is a paid segment, but everything about this smells like a advertisement.
In Dahua, cameras demand instant patching. On Monday, we covered a story about flaws in LG surveillance cameras that allow for admin access. Now, another company's cameras have joined the group. According to researchers at Bitdefender, the Dahua Hero C1 smart camera series, that is DAHUA, is also vulnerable to remote code execution. These cameras are mostly used in retail stores, warehouses, and private homes. The flaws have a CVE number and a CVSS score of 8.1. Kremlin monitor.
All right. Sorry, I was reading chat. Wade Wells is telling me I'm doing it wrong. But other people in chat are saying they had similar issues with the Google Auth. All right. Critical flaws in these cameras. The LG cameras look very similar to this. TLDR, I'll just do this quick for the sake of time.
You gotta patch it.
Patch your stuff as best you can. It is an IoT device, which means you probably have to log directly into it, which is a problem. Why would you care about patching your IoT devices? Because unless you are super thorough, it's likely on your main network segment. Unless you created an IoT network segment and you're letting those devices just kind of operate like it's a DMZ zone in a post-apocalyptic, dystopian world, like, The Last of Us just outside the city limits where like there could be fungus people running around, but like you don't really see any immediately. Like if you're cool sticking your IoT devices there, you do you, boo. But most people, they shove it on, main network or whatever, and that would be called. That's what Mike Saunders of the world's call a foothold, or a bastion. Basically an insertion point into your main network, and you don't want that. So as Phil Stafford screams in chat, segment your IoT devices, best practice.
Foreign embassies in Moscow at ISP level. According to researchers at Microsoft, the Russian government is, quote, monitoring foreign embassies in Moscow by installing malware through its control of local internet service providers, end quote. This campaign, which has been in operation since last year, is referred to by Microsoft as Secret Blizzard, but this is the first time it has been able to confirm that the campaign has the capability to conduct espionage activities at the ISP level. In a blog post on Thursday, Microsoft said, quote, it first saw the spies using an adversary in the middle technique to deploy the Apollo Shadow malware against foreign embassies in February of this year, allowing them to collect intelligence from diplomatic entities and maintain access to systems, end quote.
All right. So very clever. Okay. This is clever. Okay. Now remember, the internet is just a network of networks. Okay. So when you go to Amazon.com, your computer isn't making a peer-to-peer connection with Amazon servers. Okay. It's traversing multiple networks using the brilliance of like basically network protocols to which it's beautiful, frankly. Like you network engineers, I'll give you this. Like the way the internet works is beautiful. The way it's resilient is beautiful. Now BGP will occasionally break crap, but my point is the fact that it can find a path up and down is amazing. But because it has to go up to like a backbone, like run traceroute on a command line and go to like whatever, like some website, go to somewhere like in Australia, .au, and you'll watch it traverse across. But anyways, it goes up and then at some point it comes down. So it has to go, the ISPs are providing the internet service. And if you're like a backbone ISP, all the traffic is coming through you. These nondescript buildings that you see like in cities and stuff, you're like, what the hell is that building? Right? Chances are it's a network, data center essentially with all the data going through it. Russia has decided like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. We can like intercept in the middle here. Now, a couple things to point out here. Number one, this is super cool, but like if you're making an encrypted connection to Google or Proton or wherever, right? The traffic is encrypted above layer 4, right? So the Kremlin isn't like, ugh, we're stealing secrets up in here, okay? It's encrypted and it's secure. Okay, so that's number one. However, number two, they can see everything below. They can see everything below. Actually, I'm almost positive layers 1, 2, 3 is where the data is encrypted, and 4 where the listening service is. I think that's not encrypted. I know for a fact the IP layer is not, but I might have to get a fact check on that. But anyways, my point is, if I'm a diplomat working at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, and for whatever reason I'm riding along Russia's ISPs, they don't know that what I'm communicating to the White House, but they can see that I have made a connection, that I've reached out, that my computer is talking to an IP address at the White House or whatever, right? So how does this get weaponized? Number one, you can see communication, so they know who's talking to who. They might not know what they're saying, but they know that the contacts are there. There's an uptick in activity, or large amounts of data, 4 gigs, 12 gigs, is moving from this IP to this IP. But more importantly, and this is where it gets gross, if they can see that you're going to Office 365 or Google Workspace or Dropbox, they can see that because they know the ISP has to know what IP address you're going to. You can't encrypt that, right? So if they see that, they can intercept, they can intercept basically and deliver you a landing page, a fake malicious lookalike landing page, and steal your creds, right? And at that point, now they can do, I wouldn't say an adversarial in the middle attack, because like they can do that, but the chances are, you got to remember the website that you're going to is going to have its own certificates, right? And part of PKI infrastructure isn't just to encrypt the connection between the two of you, which really, just to be an absolute nerd here, like it doesn't encrypt the connection between you. The PKI connection encrypts the sharing of a symmetric key, which is then used to secure and encrypt the connection between you. But whatever. Hey, freaking nerd. Okay, so they can basically catch creds and trick you. If you have ever tried to access a website or go somewhere where someone was doing TLS decrypt encrypt in the middle, right? Businesses tried to do this in the early 2010s. Like, oh, we're going to monitor our workforce. And they did like a decrypt encrypt. You basically have to push a signed cert to your end users. And if you stick it into the gold load, yeah, baby, gold loads, then obviously your machine's going to accept it and they wouldn't know. But otherwise, you're going to get the pop-up. Have you ever seen a pop-up that says, something's wrong with this certificate? Do you want to continue? And you're like, yep. You might be like accepting an adversarial in the middle attack. All right. Holler. Who knew we were going to get deep into crypto right at the end of the show here? I will tell you, of all the domains in information security, cryptography is my least favorite. Too much math for me. Too much math. All right, guys. Hey, this has been episode 932 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I want to say thank you to all of you. You guys have been absolutely amazing. If you are in the GRC Analyst Masterclass, please go enjoy that extra bonus lecture I just dropped on tabletop exercises, how to crush them. And of course, Michelle Kahn's OSINT course. It's 40% off until the end of DEF CON. So you got a couple days there if you want to go sniff around at it. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere because we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to mosey on over, see if I can't find Jerry Guy, and we are going to do Jawjacking panel. Have a great weekend if you got a boogie out here. Until next time, everyone, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. What's up, everybody? If you are looking for help and need answers to questions that you just can't seem to Google the right one, or you're getting an overwhelming amount of answers and you're not sure how to sift between the chaff and the wheat, I think I'm using that term right. My Iowa Cornhuskers in chat, or Nebraska, wherever the Cornhuskers are, the people who grew up on farms, let me know if I'm using that term right. Anyways, long story short, we're about to do Jawjacking with a panel. We do it every single Friday, and we are going to crush it. You're going to collectively have about 100 years of cybersecurity experience in front of you. If you have a question, put a Q in front of it. This is mentoring at scale. Let's cook. Let's introduce our panelists for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some regulars up in here. Fleetus posted the third. Hey, Fleetus, how you doing?
Happy Friday, everyone.
Love it. We also have San Diego's own Wade Wells. How you doing, Wade?
What's up? Tired, you know. Normal day.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Wade is in left coast, so he gets up early to be here with us. So thank you. I will be, you know what, Wade? I will be feeling your pain, as I will be in Las Vegas next week doing my show live at 5 a.m. from the hotel. So
it'll be rough.
Just so you know. Speaking of rough, Wade Wells is co-host of Simply Defensive, the podcast on Simply Cyber Media Group, and he actually had to do a full interview with somebody who worked at Jack in the Box. I don't know if in the fast food industry, if like there's like beef, like literally, that's a good play on words, but does In-N-Out Burger have like beef with Jack in the Box?
Nah, not at all. They were actually a sponsor for B-Side San Diego.
Okay, so you're for sale. That's what you're saying. You're in and out. I'm joking.
The guy we interviewed was the guy who actually hired me for my first sock roll.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's another piece of history around it.
I love it. Rounding out the panel, ladies and gentlemen, you might know him from Daniel Lowry After Dark, the new podcast that's just hitting the nation, straight crushing it, where he drinks Monster Energies from cocktail glasses. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Lowry, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going? Hopefully everything's coming through. I have been a little discombobulated this morning. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, so. You're killing it, dude. You're killing it. Oh, hey, check it out. The echo shouldn't be there because I'm. All right, hey, listen. We have someone. You guys may forget if you have just shown up in the last month or two, you might not recognize this guy, but long timers know him. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Bisek. How you doing, DJ?
What?
Yo.
Dude, I like how you grab the microphone like you don't realize you're about to come on air. Like
I was not inspecting it. I was just popping in to say there's an echo.
Oh, you guys are hearing echo? Oh,
yeah.
No, the
it's gone now.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
I fixed it while Wade was talking. I know what the problem is.
I can talk through echoes. Years of Xbox gaming allowed me to do it.
It's a me problem. So hey, DJ Bisek is a network engineer and CISO. Daniel Lowry, and there's a lot of cross skills here, but just so everybody knows, Daniel Lowry, offensive security instructor, longtime Fleetus Post and SOC manager, Blue Team. Wade Wells, SOC analyst, detection engineer, incident responder. We've got a wealth of information. Oh, me, GRC. So if you guys have any questions around those, definitely drop them in chat. Really quick around the horn. Fleetus, are you going to be in Vegas next week?
I am not.
All right, Wade Wells, you're going to be in Vegas next week. I think no, right?
Maybe I'll just fly out for Friday and party and fly back Saturday morning.
Okay, all right.
Most likely I won't.
If you are there and everybody in chat, we are hosting a party. All you got to do is show up on Friday, August 8th in Vegas for the Simply Cyber community. When I say you just have to show up, there is a $5 registration fee, but that money 100% goes to Black Girls Hack. Daniel Lowry, you will Vegas, yes or no?
Nope.
A big no. All right. And then DJ Bisek, Vegas?
Nope, I'm in the middle of a project.
This is the only crew I've seen where everyone's not going to Vegas.
It's going to be a sad Vegas time.
I'll be there. All right.
Well, you're not part of the crew.
Sitting there looking around, holding his beer. Like,
oh, my God.
He's like, where is everybody?
I'm going to look like the guy from 28 Days Later, just like, hello!
Yeah.
All right, we got questions coming in. Remember, put a Q in front and we'll get them. Kelvin says, expect A+ and Sec+. What other CompTIA certs do you believe hold weight in industry? Great question. We can quickly go around the horn with like 10-second answers. I don't think any other ones hold weight in industry. The Pen Test Plus I've heard a little bit about, but I don't know anyone who's saying like, oh, if you get this cert, it's a required cert. Sec Plus in the CompTIA portfolio, Sec Plus is the only one that like, yeah, you almost kind of have to get. Fleetus, you got a thought on CompTIA?
So CYSA has started to take a little more traction.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that one.
But other than that, I tell people to get the Cloud Plus or Net Plus just to have the understanding. But from an industry point of view, no. But if you want it just to get an understanding, it's very helpful.
All right, Wade, you're over doing Blue, and you recently switched jobs. Thoughts on this?
So I think the Network Plus is more important than the A+ and the Sec Plus, and it's harder. So I would actually say that it shows me more fundamentals. I have the CYSA Plus as well. It was good. When I was working in the SOC, it was exactly what I was doing. Like it literally looked like it felt like they took the test from my job. So I would suggest it if you're going for that type of role, but otherwise it's not that big a deal.
All right, I love it. Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully that helps you, Kelvin. Roswell UK says, serious thought. Why don't we use sock puppets when working with a company? Only you and HR need to really know your true identity. Everything else is PII, spillage, and risk. All right, I mean, this is kind of a playful, fun one. You know, I guess, does anyone, Wade, I mean, you probably do sock puppet stuff, right? You have a thought on this?
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
That's the big thing, right?
Inertia gets you, right?
Yeah, this is a lot to maintain, and then I would almost say Roswell UK, so what happens when the sock puppet account gets pierced, and now you've got does that person no longer run by a sock puppet? So you've got a bunch of anonymous people running around, and then we know who Jan from accounting actually is. I just think it would be tough.
I also think the thing with cybersecurity, right? Like we are kind of held to a higher scrutiny, I would say a little bit, especially for blue teamers. So you have to know who they are because you're trusting them with a lot of keys and a lot of access to do things. So if there's no repercussions for that, like if you have enough sock pup, like if you are a little bit secretive, it's not going to work out.
There you go. Phil Stafford says, careful. It could, like, North Korea is pushing this narrative, right? Basically.
Yeah. Roswell, the UK, the North Korean, I think we ban them from the Discord. They use Thrunter too. Like, get out of it. No.
All right. So great question here from King Victor B. We talk about this all the time. I think this might actually be a highlight focus. I'm speaking at Noob Village. I think I'm the opening speaker at Noob Village next week, 10 a.m. on Friday, 10 a.m. local time at DEF CON. I think I might actually do a big piece on this one. What's the best way to build your LinkedIn network in cyber if you are a newbie? So I'll go first, and then guys, use private chat if you want to speak. Here's what I would suggest. First of all, instead of just trying to like spam and like act like it's Pokemon and collect all the things, like look at like this panel right here. Here's 5 different people that all have LinkedIn profiles that you could connect with. And I know all of us are contributing value inside. Well, some more than others, but we're all contributing into that network. Here's some cool resources. Here's some cool people. Here's some cool thoughts. So connect with those people. And then King Victor B, what I would say is, first of all, provide like a thoughtful comment, right? Like read the post and then give your thoughts, right? Second of all, look at the comments that people are saying, and if someone says something that resonates with you or you think is insightful, don't be shy. I don't know, like we're getting better about this as a society, but don't be shy. Be like, hey, Daniel Lowry, that's a great point. I didn't think about that. Like, cool, thanks for sharing or whatever. And then connect with Daniel Lowry, or click on Daniel's profile and look at his account and then connect with him. Build meaningful connections, and then like you could have meaningful conversations, and then you'll see like, oh, Jerry's going to DEF CON next week. Oh, Jerry's going to be at this meetup. Like that meetup sounds cool with cool people. Let's go to it, right? Like, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, you're not building building the LinkedIn network is not the end goal. It is a tool that you're building out to have greater value, greater utility, so you can build relationships ultimately, right? So so that's my thoughts, guys.
But
Wade,
Jerry,
go ahead,
I have
Daniel.
talked, but let Daniel go.
I was just gonna say what you're saying sounds a lot like work, and I just want to doom scroll LinkedIn and at best like something, right? And I feel like that's the way people think LinkedIn should be working.
I just want to thumbs
But-
up stuff.
Yeah, and it's not like normal social media. At least it's not intended to be. So if you start using it that way, you're not gonna get the most benefit out of it. And don't get me wrong, Jerry and I were talking about this. I've had this conversation quite a bit lately. Is LinkedIn has gone through some weird changes lately. And it's nowhere nearly as awesome, if that ever was a term that could be associated with it, as it used to be. So you have to put in some work. And yes, stopping on someone's post and going, making an insightful, thoughtful, like meaningful comments about that thing that they posted about takes time. It takes effort. You want to make sure you don't sound like an idiot, because I have definitely hit send well before I've edited my comment. And that is a bad mistake. But you got to put some work in.
I recently posted at a job opening at my job, and that was a mistake. Like, I'm realizing that LinkedIn needs like a close friends feature. Like, so I posted it, and within a day, I had over 250 people add me. And most of those people weren't even from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Which isn't a big deal, but the job is a U.S. hire. And I wanted my my connections that I know, like the people that I have that I feel okay with, actually supplying a job to it. And I was like, this is too much. Like, I deleted it. I just didn't respond to anybody. A couple people, it actually worked. A couple people that I am close with actually hit me up about the job, and I could push them into the process. But it is like, they need the Instagram close friends feature that I feel like now.
Well, you can create groups, and
Can
LinkedIn
you?
Too. Yeah, you can create a group and make a group. Like, you have your IC squared groups, you have your Cisco groups, you have those type of groups. You could
but you have to join that group. Though,
But yeah,
right?
you'd
Like,
have to make it private
yeah.
and pull your people in there. What I would say to this, kind of piggyback on what Wade said, was I have seen lately many of the people that have tried to reach out to me are not within the U.S. They're outside of the U.S., most in India. Especially with all the stuff with North Korea going on, and hey, I need a job here. There's got to be some type of vetting. And when somebody just sends me a message to connect, or not even sends me a message, but just tries to connect, what I tell people is, if you're going to connect with me, at least send me some type of message that can kind of guarantee me that I kind of can figure out who you are, in the sense of, hey, I come from Simply Cyber. I saw you in the morning. I just want to connect. Or, of course, you got the salespeople that are like, hey, I want to sell you this, and I see that you're the director over here, or whatnot. But for me, LinkedIn and creating your network, you're not just, a lot of people keep saying, how can I get a job in the industry? What I keep telling people is, quit worrying about getting the job in the industry. Create that network. The network should be like, you should look at it and be like, hey, these are the friends that I can go to if there's a problem. Like, hey, if I've got something wrong with how to read logs, I could go hit up Wade real quick and ask him something if I've got an issue. You should look at it as in like, hey, you may be working for company A, somebody else may be working for company B, but that's a knowledge resource outside of that. It's not just somebody that you're trying to reach out to see if you can't, scoot your way into a job. It's a true network is the way that I look at it.
Agreed. I don't see it very often, but I will point out it's just something that really is a massive turnoff for me. I don't know if you guys have dealt with this at all, but please do. I mean, your mileage may vary, but periodically, like at least once a month, someone will create a group chat that has me and like 3 other people in it, and I don't know who they are or whatever, and they'll just like launch into like why we need to hire them or something like that. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, no, like what are you doing? Like, it's almost like I was walking down the hallway at DEF CON and someone like grabbed me by the neck and like violently pulled me into a group circle and started like barraging me. So that doesn't work. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know if anyone else has got that, but just I would strongly recommend you don't do that. Also, just to really quickly vent for a second, because I never really get to say this out loud, I have reached some arbitrary limit on LinkedIn where I can't accept connections anymore.
Yeah, you got 30,000. right?
Yeah, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that want to connect, and I push the button, so I get an error message. It's super annoying because I look like a dink.
They can follow. You can only I think it's 30,000 connections is what you can do.
All right.
Once you hit that magical number, then you're just too cool for everybody else.
Yeah, LinkedIn figures if you've got 30,000 actual connections, you're probably like some weirdo or not real.
You're some bot. Jerry
It's
the bot.
It's their way of forcing you outside. Listen, you can get no more connections, Jerry. It's time to get outside and see the sun for 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Go touch grass, Jerry.
You use the term gold load, apparently. Okay.
Gold load. I had never heard that in my life.
I've heard golden image. I've never heard gold load. That's for sure.
87% of us haven't heard of it, apparently. Face Doyle out of Ireland says, just finished my Net Plus and coming from policing, I have no experience. Is there any certs that are hands-on and not just multiple choice? I'm not sure where I want to be yet, just still early days. Well, first of all, congratulations for identifying that the hands-on certs are more valuable, for sure. From a cert perspective, CCNA, CCNA is a hands-on cert, and it used to be, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was considered like a legit gravity-inducing cert in cybersecurity.
It was the gold load.
Yeah, it was the gold load. And it has since fallen off as valuable. But BSEC,
I wouldn't even say it's fallen off as valuable. I think certs in themselves, I would say over the last 5 years, everybody's just know the information. If you can walk into an interview and somebody's asking you a question over all the information and you're able to spit it out instantly and know what's going on, then you know that they have the capability of it, right? If the cert in itself allows you to, number one, say that you did it, right? You have that, you passed the test, so to say, but that doesn't necessarily prove that you have the knowledge, because passing a cert and a lot of times is book knowledge, right? It's reading, it's understanding, and we all know that there are many people out there that they're paper tigers and they just memorize everything and go take a test.
Well put. There's a really interesting question here. I'm looking forward right now. I want to throw it to Wade Wells, and it has to do with the question is, and I'll pull it up once I get to it. How many internal servers should you put Sysmon on? And let's use a percentage instead of because different organizations, different sizes.
All of them.
All right,
as someone who loves logs. If you can't have all of them, right, then you're going to have to use risk and be like, all right, which ones are the most important for me to protect? Right? So then you throw those ones on it. Or which ones are the riskiest that are most likely to get hacked, that type of deal. But if you can, everything, right? It's like asking which server should I put antivirus on? Right? At least antivirus will block stuff, and maybe you don't want to put on certain dev servers because maybe you put it in passive mode. But Sysmon's just logging. I could see some Sysmon problems if some obscure server that is just going ham and just blows you up with logs. Maybe then you create some type of pipeline in order to negate that. But you want as many logs as you can. I had a contracting gig where they asked me to vet their logs. And I didn't realize this. Their goal was to get rid of logs. And I was like, you guys need more logs. They didn't like that too much.
Yeah,
so.
they're like, your contract's terminated. We're going to
And how do you quantify what server you should be logging? When it comes to, you may have a server that is production, if that thing goes down, everything's dead. Mm-hmm. But you also may have one that's just kind of a jump box or something along those lines that you don't put anything on, and that's the one that actually gets popped.
That's I would say the Bastion server right there is the more important of the two because it's the entrance into the network, right? So that would be the perfect one to log. But
another point too is look and see what your policy says you're monitoring. What is your policy? We joke all the time. We want logs. We're defenders. We want visibility. But what does your policy and procedure say you're doing? When you get audited, when you get dinged, if Sysmon's not on there, if you say you put logging and monitoring on all servers or all production servers or et cetera, you just need to read your policy and then work with your GRC team and your infrastructure teams.
Another interesting one is a lot of times you have agreements with customers of what you're protecting and what you're doing, and they mandate that you log stuff, which is one for me, at least as a blue teamer, to get that information. Usually it boils down from like lawyers and legal and stuff like that. Said, hey, here's what we always agree to. You have to log this. So
it comes in on your customer questionnaires. Like if you work very closely, and I tell your sales teams, your GRC teams, your legal teams, tell us what you're agreeing to contractually, because we may not be meeting that if you don't tell us.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I also I have a personal question. So there's a story in today's news about these IoT webcams that are vulnerable and could be taken over quite easily and stuff like that. Logging on these kind of simple, IoT devices can be problematic. What's the approach, Wade, as far as catching those logs? I mean, is that even a priority, or are you just like, whatever, YOLO?
network logs, seeing what's connecting to it and what's connecting out. That's the best bet. Usually those aren't going to have some type of export or some type of like log. So you're just like, hopefully you have like a Ubiquity or some type of weird little firewall that's telling you what's coming in, what's coming out straight to that webcam. And then if you can build some protections around that, like I've caught my baby monitor ping in China. I was like, why? So that baby monitor no longer talks to the internet. Just talks internally on my network.
There you go. All right.
Well, and what I would also say to go with Wade is, if you can VLAN your cameras and put them on their own thing, you can monitor that whole network by itself. I mean, you don't necessarily want to static every single camera, but when it comes to camera systems, like Wade said, you have Ubiquity that does some logging. Some of these systems may not be Wi-Fi cameras, but they may have a DVR in the back or some kind of NVR in the back that you can monitor as well that's doing it. So easiest thing, put it on its own network and monitor that network.
Man, I thought this was a cybersecurity show. We keep talking about networking stuff.
This is the greatest.
I know, right?
This is the greatest one ever.
Oh my gosh.
I love
It just reminds me of the Mirai botnet too, with all that IP camera stuff. So
yeah, the other thing too people forget about is like zones, enclaves. There's many ways to segment stuff and put them behind, and you can put basic rules similar to what Wade said. Like if it's only supposed to talk to a /8 or a /16, that's all it gets access to. Don't give it the full World Wide Web.
Daniel Lowry, Oracle Recon over on Discord says, I'm working on TCM Security PGSA, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. Maybe professional junior or penetration junior, sysadmin.
It's probably practical.
Yeah, well, I'll Google what the acronym is in a second, but he's saying, would it be good to have? Let me look at this really quickly. So sorry. Practical SOC Analyst Associate. I didn't even realize TCM had a SOC analyst. He went wide quick. He bloomed like a jellyfish about to take a stroke. So any thoughts on this practical SOC analyst? That metaphor made sense, by the way.
I get it. It's just a way an off one. Like I've never heard that. It's almost like a gold load type of thing.
It's just that's a callback. That's fine. That's fine.
Right. Okay. So Daniel Lowry, let's talk SOC analyst certs. Yeah.
So when it comes to any certification, it does not matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it's for. If you are getting that certification, it shouldn't be because you heard that it was cool, or that you heard that you would like it, or that it even gives you the information that you need. That should be part of it, but that's not the reason you get certs. The reason you get certs is to demonstrate a specific set of skills, and you're going to want to use those certs that are specific for the jobs that you're looking for. So if you're looking at jobs and you're seeing PJSA, or you're seeing this type of certification or similar, right? Then and you think this is where, because you got to remember, you got to spend your money with it. You've got to put your money on the barrelhead, and then it needs to give you a return on that investment. I'm not familiar with the PGSA right now. I'm familiar with TCM Security. TCM has a very good name in the industry. They have a very good name when it comes to their certifications. I'm assuming this is a little bit newer. Plus, I don't spend too much time on the blue team side of things, especially when it comes to certifications. That said, if you look at the objectives list and you're going to bank more on the TCM Security name than you are the PJSA, name specifically, you need to know that this thing is going to give you a return on your investment. That whether that be in skills, if you're happy with that, if you think that the money transfer for the skills and knowledge that they're going to deliver to you through their course and their certification is going to be worthwhile, then heck yeah, go for it. It'll be totally good. I think we've been talking about this quite a bit, and I saw it in the chat as well, where most people nowadays are more interested in that you can demonstrate that you have skill sets, that if you sit in a interview, if you get an interview, you'll be able to speak the lingo, understand the terminology, understand the concepts, and be able to converse with that person on the other side of the desk on that topic in an intelligible way. Whether or not you're going to be able to get that through the PJSA, that's completely subjective. That's a one-fits-one. I couldn't tell you whether or not that's going to guarantee you're going to get interviews and that your resume is going to get passed or XYZ. I've always been the kind of person that focuses more on what does this course and cert give me personally as far as knowledge and skill. If it's doing a really good job of giving me a high level of skill and knowledge, then I would probably still want to get it, even if it had no name recognition in the industry. Because to me, that's more important than being able to put down the right cert on my resume for job hunting. And that's just me personally, and that's my opinion. You might be in a different situation. Everybody's in their own situation. So it's a very subjective question on whether or not this is going to be useful for you. It's going to depend on what you're looking at, where you're looking to go, what the recognition is, what are you trying to get out of it? What's that return on your investment?
All right. Hey, really quickly, I want to remind everybody that we have AMA at 1 p.m. on the Simply Cyber Discord server live. We can answer all your questions. It is 9:30. I want to remind everybody that we are actually going to be doing James McQuiggan's Simply Secured right now. It's launching. It's premiering right now. It is an amazing podcast. We're going to be talking about GRC, volunteering, and YouTube. So definitely come check that out. I want to say thank you to the panel. That was a quick 30 minutes. If you guys want to come to the AMA at 1 o'clock Eastern, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, I'll see you guys all on Monday. Thank you so much, panel. I'm just going to end the stream because I want to get over to the podcast. Be well, everybody. And remember, Daniel Lowry, IRL, at 10 a.m. Eastern. Fleetus has got shows. Wade's back in the mix. And don't forget what DJ B-Sec looks like. It looks like he's back in the mix, too.
Take a picture.
All right, guys. Be well.
Screenshot.
Until next time, stay secure.